God damn it, I forgot to change my skin back again. uh, oh well. Like I said, after I forgot to change my skin back after trying to get the player head thing sorted out, I've decided to just embody the goth babe mumbo jumbo vibe for until the mumbo deck of the day is over. God. Alright. Desktop audio, why not? Actually, Minecraft sound has its own thing, so I'm just gonna leave Minecraft sound on. Yeah, no, we're just gonna work on the base for a bit, and then maybe work on Scuffed here and there. We're gonna see how the stream holds out. If it dips again, I'm just gonna restart my laptop and start the stream up again. Because I really want to chat right now. I really want to go through and give. Because, like, recently, there has been a bit of a there has been an idea for an award show on the Bedrock Game Wonder server, and there is that there's just something I could expect happening, so I want to get it off my chest. The base you see before you, while I am good at writing a story, I am not too good at showing a story, if that makes any sense. And when I say that, I want to bring up a specific content creator in mind that like really opened my eyes on this idea, which is of course Good Times with Scar. Because while it's like on Hermitcraft in general, you see the you get the idea of a mega base, and but when it comes to but like some people like Grian have their mega bases, like the big old manor in season 7 or the big old tower in season 6, or but like speaking of Grian, I feel like Grian has gotten better at storytelling, but also not. And I mean environmental story. I want to specify environmental storytelling because that is the main focus of the discussion here. Because like when you look at this, what do you get? Ignore the storage barrels to the left. Ignore the diamond block. What do you get? You see, oh, a couple barrels out front. That might suggest that the people who live here are planning on moving somewhere else, storing their resources outside so they can easily be taken off to a new land. But that's really all you get, other than different styles mashed together, which was the original idea where I wanted to like basically go through and redo some of my bases of the past in Minecraft, but like then I just after doing this, the main structure you can see here, which is a redoing of my base in season 1 of the Shift Tech SMP, which on Llama Mountain with the Llama Club and everything. And after that, I really just wanted to continue that idea, other than when I uh, did a remixed version of the Llama Temple. If you've seen the original screenshot, you can see the original design elements, but you could very much tell that it's something different, something that has been updated with a more modern block palette, and something that is more focused on the storytelling that's going on here, which is Dr. Crepuit and the creaking research. And while I'm talking about environmental storytelling, let's just do a walkthrough of the base here. Because like right here, you get big, impressive base. You must be like, oh, I wonder what's inside. And then you get inside, and while I have been improving my interior design recently, before this, before I put the paintings up, it was just walls. Just empty walls. Nothing else. And this is a major spot of self criticism for me because I've always struggled with detail. I've always struggled with environmental storytelling. I've always struggled with the heart because while I can easily write up a more of a historical database of events, it's more difficult for me to work together the story that's within. And what I mean by that is that like the creativity is there, but the execution isn't. And I think that's more or less because when I do get into the nitty gritty, I'm a lot more self conscious. So I like, but then I'll also start working on something and then procrastinate, and then eventually just doesn't get done. Speaking of procrastinating and not getting stuff done, that damn. Let's go visit it. This right here. To you, this might just look like a normal wall. But if I just do some little depth looking, you can see that it is a da-da redstone door that currently cannot be activated from the outside because I have been procrastinating working out the redstone needed to get a redstone activated key into it, which is delving into the bit of spoilers, so I'm not going to continue any further on that discussion point. I'll revisit it again at the end of the season, especially if I don't get around to doing it, because that is a major part of the base. Along with let's just take a step back here. You see, oh, big, massive castle in the distance, but when you get closer, you're like, oh, that's all it is. Well, like down here, you could see the like when I really focus, but like this area empty mostly. This area mostly empty as well. I One thing I really want to do next season is focus on environmental storytelling because that is something I've been neglecting a lot in my bases. And it's because I view it as a thing to where I do the broad strokes and then I go back and do the environmental storytelling. Like in here, this is a decent amount of environmental storytelling. It's a bit bland, but like it's a decent bit. You could believe that this is a lived in part of a base. Along with this, you get that this is a storage system that's actively being used. Same with this, you get that it's an in progress library that's collecting things. But like out here, especially over here, it's empty towers that are just monoliths of brick that are just standing there to look good. But they aren't, but they don't have that bit of flair to them. And then once you get up here, this is why this area is one of my favorite parts of my base, because there's that little bit of extra flair that gives it that personality that other parts of my base are severely lacking. And then same thing with over here. It has what you selling, boy. Let's see, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, you can see here. This place is fit like the armor stand. I'll come back and reveal that later. But like, it has that bit of life, that bit of lived-in feel. And then once you go up to the second floor, you still have that energy a little bit. It would be nice if there were some books in here that I never got around to writing. But it has that lived in feel to it, along with up here. There's a couple paintings, a map of the area. It looks nice. What? But like, this area has really been lacking. And then like once you get up here, you're like, oh, nice. It's a bit more environmental storytelling, but like it isn't much. Like you get the idea that like somebody who likes flowers lives here. And then once you get up to the second level, you might get the like, okay, somebody who's working like this is a bit of a laboratory space, and somebody is looking into the properties of the creaking of the what you call it? What are these called? Oh, eye blossoms. You might get that from it, but like, and then once you get up here, you're like, oh, they have a map of the area even. But that's really it. It doesn't have that final touch that I really wanted to do when I was originally working on this area. And like the bees, they aren't environmental storytelling. They're there because I needed the honey to fill up the build. So, and I had them in a spot where I'd constantly be loading the chunks while working on the build, so that way I'd be able to get the honey faster and not to AFK at a farm for it. Because that's one of the things I don't like doing in Minecraft. I absolutely do not like just AFKing at a place for a bit. But like in here, you get that this area is lived in, but then once you go down into the basement, nothing other than some empty bookshelves. Like, and now that I've highlighted those failures on my own film, I want to go to another just a little build I designed that I really feel like highlights that bit. Like when I go big, I forget to do the environmental stuff. Look at this. You get that this is like a workshop. There's a furnace here. Originally, there was like an armor stand right here, so you'd get the idea that this is like a little shack, a little workshop. but it never really. But like at this level, I don't really do it much in my larger builds, so they do end up feeling quite empty. And I tried to go back and fix those mistakes, but like it's just something I gotta work on. Now, let's go over to who I think has done environmental storytelling the best on this server. That being the Pink Village made by Sunny Burr. Just look at it. Look at how detailed it is. For lack of a better word, just detailed. You have signs that give it like that are more like server exclusive things that you won't really get unless you recognize the names on the signs. And then like what? But like you got the ice there to feed the polar bear. Where is the polar bear? By the way, where is Sunny Bear? I mean Snowy Bear. Here's Snowy Bear. There we go. Raised from unnamed horse. And then like, but just look at this little fishing hut, man. This is the kind of stuff that I wish that I was able to just do naturally without having to go back and add in later on because this this is the kind of stuff I see when I'm building something, but it's all in my head. So it doesn't really translate well to the rest to others seeing that, you know? Is this cat named? Nope. I just had to check. uh, but then, like, if we go over here, and, like, as you go deeper in the village, like, here, carpets. These carpets, little decorations on tables, just a pot there, a lantern there. And then, like, even though these bookshelves aren't filled, it does so much more than if this room was just empty, you know? But like, and then like something that I like more is like this could be a bit of bias from uh, something similar I've done myself, but also being told the story of this directly. But like, you get that this is like a run down area because like the roof has fallen in and it hasn't been repaired, while the rest of the area is mostly well kept up. Certified off archery, nice. Oh my god, this part wasn't included in the tour and it just looks so good, man. So let's check anything in the barrel. Yep. People don't realize that I check inside of the pots and then I get that little bit of extra flair when I do. But then, like, even just the wheat here. The wheat! Like, it's those little touches that make something so much more alive. God, I just can't stop gushing over people who execute this idea well, where they have that level of environmental storytelling. Because it's something I strive to get to eventually in my building style. And I'm going to focus a lot of that next season because this season was, I'd say it was my coming to terms with my building style and how it doesn't work for it could work for like a forever creative world that I'm just working on my own, But when it comes to stories I want to share immediately, I need to get that environmental storytelling in before I move on to the next project, or before I move on to the next part of the base. Yeah, because like this area reeks of unfinished, you know? Unfinished. A shell that still needs to have that flair put in. How long have we been going? 20 minutes? And I know the title says that I was going to work on Scuffed, but I might just end the stream here because I'm tired. Both mentally and physically. You know what? Mason Snow might be dead. Come out this way. Oh god, the lag. The lag. I don't like having lag when a creeper's walking up, man. I do not like having lag when I'm fighting a creeper. Mason Snow? Mason Snow is gone. Make sure to light up your areas, folks, because, like, yeah. I just have to check. So what's like this? A potential? Light level. No, that's 3. The game decided to just say F you, I guess, because, like, this whole area is well lit. Unless this area isn't well lit. Once it's closed off. Yep. 3 blocks of light level 0. Just 3. That's all the game needs to spawn some monsters, kill your snow golem. Yay. So what I learned, light up your bases. There we go. I need to just follow through with plot lines more. uh, so I'm gonna start off slow next season. I think that this, I'm gonna put a roof on it. I'm gonna get the general structure done. And then I'm gonna call it quits. That way I could save my energy up for next season. But like Dragon's Reach I wanna get done. I want to get the structure done. I want to finish the tail. I want to put in some glass for the windows. I want to put like awnings on the windows, and then I want to put the damn wings stretching out with red and black wool as the base's colors for it to be truly finalized as that being the final touch for that. Has anyone ever seen something like this before, where there's just 4 bats flying randomly? Anyways, I'm gonna log off here. You know what? Screw around on Hypixel at the end of the day. I'll close out Firefox if it doesn't suck up any resources, save Steam. Let's see if we could actually manage to not get down into limbo right now. There we go. Yo, we got more coming out. Get to the rooftop person down low. Oh you can actually hit the dragons. No. That was too close for me. I realized why I decided not to start off with this. Because the game sounds can be quite noisy. Like, even if it's just 1%. I'll leave it at 1%, just in case some of it goes through. Oh my god. Alright, centered. We won't be hit off too far if we're just centered. We did it, we survived. Roof Gang for the win, baby. I think for the remaining events, like the fun stuff on the server that isn't just me building, I'm gonna record them. And then I'll actually download an editing software and edit it all together to like just the final bit at the end of the season, where it's just everybody having fun. I'd love to get the invisibility potion if possible, which it is. I'll just make my way over to here. No armor now, because armor will give our position away when we're invisible. Another invis potion. Let's go. I don't do commentary well. I think that's why I tend to only record when there's other people around. Because then they could balance out my moments of just pure silence. Come on. There we go. Alright, where are players at? I'm investing in armor now since I have the ability to fight back properly. I swear to God. I'm gonna be thrown into limbo this game, aren't I? Stream quality's probably suffering. Nope, it's getting all the necessary resources it needs right now. Is it coming this way? No. Does the gold helmet still get doable? Nope, it's gone now. Watch zombie apocalypse happen now. When all the infrastructure is gone. Oh my god, I haven't called it, man. What? 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 Invis. Invis. What the hell? I just got wombo comboed by enemies I can't even see. And I'm dead. GG's. I can't fight back.